Hi, I'm Aaron Barugo with Guerrilla Approach, and this is Functional Marksmanship Movements. Today we're going to be shooting the drill Throttle Control. Shooting competitively, one of the things I learned is that short, choppy bursts of movement, really explosive acceleration, deceleration, forces you to trim the fat on your movement mechanics. As a tactical shooter, I did a lot of boxed up, rigid shooting with traditional hard pivots, left or right with 90 degrees with your turning movements. You start getting in that competitive shooting environment, you start to learn that your shoulders and your hips need to sometimes be moving independent of each other if you want to quickly get into position. So with this exercise, we've got a piece of BC zone steel down at 20 yards. We've got 3 cones that are 5 yards apart, and you're gonna be doing shuttles back and forth. Now, traditionally, the tactical shooter, when they go to perform this exercise, they're gonna be making hard pivots left or right when they move in between each position. So if you really want to shoot this exercise for speed, you need to only be moving your shoulders and your hips the minimal amount that they need to be moved. So you need to unlearn some of that rigid, boxed up shooting styles that we as tactical shooters are taught to do if you want to go for speed. So the way this exercise is shot is you have 3 cones that are 20 yards from a target down range, and the cones are all 5 yards apart. You'll start at the center cone, and on the buzzer, you'll proceed to the left cone, get static, and you'll shoot until you score a hit. If that's 1 round, good to go. If you need to shoot until you score a hit after a single round, take the makeup shots. After you score that first hit, you're gonna proceed back to the center cone, score a hit, proceed to the right cone, score a hit, back to the center, score a hit, back to the left, center, right, and you keep doing this until you score 10 hits. So while you're shooting this exercise, if you move your shoulders and your hips any degree past the necessary amount that they need to go, you're gonna be slowing yourself down. So you're gonna be opening up with your hips, moving with your shoulders will be moving, this allows your muzzle to follow, getting into position immediately. Now, don't mistake the orientation of my body downrange with some kind of constraint with safety. Obviously the target's downrange, so that's where I'm gonna keep my body oriented for doing work. I do this regardless of whether it's a 180 or a 360 degree environment. I'm always trying to cheat my hips and my shoulders in the direction of where I know the work is going to be at. So when I'm moving between these cones, I'm exploding into and out of position, and I'm only rotating my hips, my shoulders to the amount that they need to go. As a tactical shooter, if you've not been conditioned to shoot like this, you're gonna be boxed up and rigid. You're gonna do hard 90-degree pivots left and right, and this is going to tremendously slow you down. All right, so that's throttle control. Again, when I was shooting competitively, I learned that short, explosive bursts of movement into and out of position truly force a shooter to trim the fat on their movement mechanics. So you tactical shooters, you guys that are boxed up, whether it's the September 10th mindset, facing your plates toward the threat, or you're just not allowed to be able to go for true speed on the range, think about that when you're shooting this exercise. And if you're doing hard pivots left or right, 90 degrees, you're going to be slow getting into position, and it's going to cost you time.